Well, with all that being said, let's get into this first hater award. Aubrey.
Oh, boy.
Now, if you don't remember Aubrey, let me refresh you. He is a little person.
So there was a podcast that I was on one time, and it was a horrible experience, and it's why I'm never going to go on another podcast again. And no, I will not be naming the podcast, even though some of you definitely know what I'm talking about.
He's trying to bitch out and be like, I'm not going to say the show, so they can't respond to me. It's like everybody knows exactly what you're talking about, dude. Okay, let's stop doing some bullshit, cowardly shit like that. Okay, everybody knows you're talking about us, so let's just say what you want and stop being a baby. All right, go ahead.
The comedian one day was talking in a bit about how he has a phobia of little people.
Guys, I have to be very careful. I have to be very careful on this next section, all right? Very careful. We have to be very careful for the duration of this section, or they're going to get me in trouble, all right? I'm going to do the best I can to not get short with anybody, all right? Because this drama is massive.
And you know what else is massive?
Yeah, I understand this is a bit of a small issue, but we will be covering it because it is relevant to the grandmaster topic that we're going to hit after this. Okay, here we go, guys. Are you ready to hear the newest victim of the Ethan Klein crime family? Chat, we've had Jake Dumore, all right, from the No Foundation. Okay, we've had Mika's rhetoric and zero editing from the T community. All right, we've had who else has come? We've covered a lot. There have been a lot of bad Ethan Klein videos, like a week before and during his vacation. It was just a horde of retarded arguments. Holy shit, this one's bad. This one's bad.
Podcast that I was on one time, and it was a horrible experience.
Hey guys, I have literally nothing else to talk about. So let's talk about the one time that I went on Ethan Klein's podcast while he's on break. This will go great.
So there was a podcast that I was on one time, and it was a horrible experience, and it's why I'm never going to go on another podcast again. And no, I will not be naming the podcast.
Guys, listen, I'm going to describe every single thing about this very public podcast that I was on one time, and then I'm not going to name the podcast, so you'll never be able to guess what it is. This is totally not a clout grab. This is totally not me, again, grifting off of the situation and jumping in here to throw your... little hat into the ring, okay?
Even though some of you definitely know what I'm talking about. But they had a segment one time with the podcast owner's dad and some comedian who, mind you...
Guys, I gotta be honest with you. I'm stealing this joke from chat. I've been working my ass off to get this YouTube play button, chat, okay? I've been working my ass off, all right? Now, it wasn't the bots. It wasn't the people who were botting the channel. It was all me. I did all of it. All the work was me. It was none of you guys. It was all me. 100% all me. But I don't like when people take shortcuts to the top. Like, is it Aubrey Doolittle? No. Oh, wait. Here's his chat. Dwarfism history. I declare January is Dwarfism History Month. And if you guys don't know, this is actually Aubrey Smalls. I don't see anything funny about that. Why are you laughing? Why are you I'm actually going to, while you guys are getting your jokes out, your yucks, I'm going to start a new goal. But why are you laughing that Dwarfism history is named Aubrey Smalls? It's like Biggie Smalls, you know? There's no punchline to that.
The same podcast is now accusing of SA years later. But the comedian one day was talking in a bit about how he has a phobia of little people. And they were going on and on about a lot of miseducation around dwarfism in general. So I was...
Okay, so last night, unironically, I watched... Dude, I saw Aubrey get in so much trouble I'm so fucked, dude. I watched this movie unironically. I'm not even kidding. This is not a bit. Last night I watched Project X. And Aubrey was in it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in so much trouble. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna end up on H3 Snark? Bitch, I've been on H3 Snark for 48 hours. Little Kiwi Farms Jr. can't fuck with me.
It's like, oh my god, this is the perfect time to educate people. We love a good educational...
Look at little Kiwi Farms Jr. You can't match a morsel of their power level.
moment, especially as a viewer at the time, with dwarfism. So I wrote on their subreddit, I was like, hey, I'm a filmmaker and educator. I would love to come on and educate you guys and talk about the dwarfism community and specifically the phobia of little people, since I know that's such a great...
Dude, could you imagine you wake up like you know the Skyrim intro and you're sitting in the fucking Skyrim thing and it's like, hey, I just wanted to educate you on little people. It's like, what the fuck? We're going on a quest. Where's Gandalf?
area for a lot of people. So
I've got the ring of power. We will throw it into the mountain together.
post blew up. All the fans of the show were like, we would love to see Aubrey on the show. They reached out, and then next thing you know, I'm in the waiting room the next episode.
He knows Psychologic. Yeah, this guy's read the DM7.
To talk to the comedian and the podcast owner's dad. And I thought this was going to be a educational little moment.
And to be clear, apparently there's some guy who does like midget watch and like streams about this guy every fucking, like it's Midget Wednesday. I was watching Chudlogic. There's some asshole who literally runs a weekly show like fucking stalking this guy called Midget Wednesday. I do not support Midget Wednesday.
But I was coming on to be a bit. They essentially had, leading up to my appearance, a whole compilation.
But can I not call this guy a midget? His name is Dwarfism History. He calls himself fucking Aubrey Smalls. Am I not allowed to talk? I can't make a joke about it? Your entire fucking personality is a self-deprecating meme. I can't make a joke?
Of this guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't use... That's our word. Yeah, buddy. All right.
All the times that he said publicly on the internet that he's afraid of little people, and just a lot of derogatory jokes about little people. And then they were like, and drum roll, we have a little person to surprise you.
I'm sorry that you didn't like being brought out as the token little person years later. What a shame. You clearly were having no fun on this podcast.
And they brought me in with basically no warning. And the whole bit was basically just about having a little person go against two guys who were just talking about how little people, what are they going to do? Kick you in the shins? And then brought me in. And it just really solidified.
This is what Anthony Fantano looks like when he gives an album like a light to decent 3. This is a light to decent 3 Anthony Fantano.
It's the fact
like 3 feet.
That, one, I'm a class act. Because y'all, I wanted to cuss them out. But I do believe in digital footprints. And mind you, this was in front of like 50,000 people watching live. And
chibi Anthony Fantano is seething right now.
Because what you're not going to do is pretend like just because I have dwarfism that you can suddenly start making jokes as if I'm not a grown man who pays taxes and like has a life.
Oh, look at this guy. He pays his taxes. Oh shit. Big man on campus.
Shame on you, weirdo. But to,
guys, you will not joke about Aubrey Smalls from Dwarfism History, okay? I don't even know where you'd even start by making jokes about this guy. I have no idea. You will not insult Aubrey Smalls.
I do believe in trying my best, and I did what I could. They weren't willing to listen. They weren't wanting to listen. The whole crew was just laughing the whole time. And it was like an out-of-body experience.
Dude, this is what he meant when Aubrey said started from the bottom.
Definitely disassociated for maybe 30 seconds because I was like, it's very strange watching something that you consumed for so long and then finally being involved in that circle and then just realizing you're there to be a joke.
This is what Drake looked like after the beef with Kendrick.
Very weird thing. And it really, now I'm so conscious of what I say yes to and the things that I say and participate in. And the only podcast I listen to now, because I ain't listening to that anymore, is Do We Know Them? Because we love the girlies, and one of them actually has a child with a disability and talks so openly and respectfully about that.
Dude, people watch things like, holy shit, there's someone just like, it's like me watching a podcast. Like, did you know they have a fat Italian guy and he loves pizza? Holy shit, he's literally me. They actually have a fat Italian guy who loves pizza.
And then also I listen to my own podcast because I love the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, shocker here. That was a bit of a Freudian clip moment.
Sorry, some of us have soothing, calming voices that...
it. I'm sorry.
Some of us have soothing, calming voices that's enjoyable to listen to. But
The best jokes are the ones that write themselves.
don't worry about me, though. I'm doing better things. At the time, I had just started working on my documentary, and I was also told them that I would love to
The
talk
documentary is why every room smells like shit.
to people about that and why I was making a documentary about little people that actually hired little people behind the camera and in front of the camera in the first place, you know, because of issues like us being constantly used as like I'm scared of little people and the experiences that we have. But that fundraiser, it took a long time to reach our goal, but we finally did a couple months ago in the summer, which was really exciting. And
Someone just said that he's going to be narrating his short film.
also, I'm still hot, so...
What?
And the podcast
Whoops.
owner now is crashing out on the internet publicly, so... how things
Slightly more active Ricky Berwick is talking crazy shit here, dude.
change.
So wait, so this is what Aubrey Smalls makes, okay? This is what Aubrey Smalls puts out. It's literally a huge nothing. It's just like a whole thing about, hey guys, I have a bad experience on a podcast that you could easily Google, and I'm never gonna watch it again, or I'm never gonna watch anything other than my own podcast, and I'm gonna shill my own shit and do some self promo. Anywho, obviously this had a follow up.
It out. So I wanted to address the comments and questions in the recent Instagram post that Ethan Klein made about me a few minutes ago. This is a deeply personal...
Okay, so yeah, just to be clear, this is what Ethan responded to Aubrey with during his hijinks, all right? Enough with these weak-ass call-outs trying to cash in on H3 hate. This shit is not paying out anymore. Fuck this dude. We have insane amounts of receipts to disprove anything and everything. I see you trying to erase shit too. Don't worry, we have it all saved. Why the fuck did you even make this video? Jake Doolittle levels of self-owning. Enjoy the new year, dipshit. Holy fuck, Ethan mauled him. Absolute destruction.
Important topic for me, so I wanted to take some time to set the
This is a really important topic for me. That's why I injected it into the... That's why I just brought it up out of the blue and then immediately got responded. Now I'm on the back foot because all these people think that they can cry bully their way to the top. They could sit here and they could say anything they want about big internet micro celebrity. All right. And then they're not allowed to respond to you. You're allowed to speak with impunity and make up any allegation you want. And if you punch up at them, they're punching down, and that's just wrong. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that.
straight and share my side of the story.
And in this guy's case, you're really punching down. Like, you have to, like, get on...
There's been a lot of conversation from Ethan Klein's fans about me trying to clout chase by sharing this story, which again, never mentioned his name, and that I'm trying to capitalize off of Ethan's current situation. That couldn't be further from the truth, so I wanted to make this video to explain everything in full context.
Yeah, Ethan's really low blowing. He clipped him right in the chin.
I was a listener of a podcast, and with one episode where they were talking about phobias and fears of little people, and proper wording for people with dwarfism. At the time, they're using slurs that most of us know are not appropriate, but I figured it would be a great opportunity.
Just to be clear, I use like the word retarded. So that doesn't apply to me. I'm sorry, I don't care.
See if I could get on the show to talk about the proper verbiage and to educate people on dwarfism. As someone with dwarfism myself who experiences in-person and online harassment just because of the fact that I have a disability, I was hoping...
I don't subscribe to weird freaks on TikTok telling me which words are okay in 2020, whatever. Literally blow it out your ass. If you don't like it, don't watch.
that this appearance would help bridge the gap of understanding and start some meaningful dialogue. Unfortunately,
there's no Gen Alpha person gonna come in here and be like, listen, mate, those words have expired.
early during the episode, I was subjected to ableist jokes and comments about little people that made me really uncomfortable. I kept my composure.
Dude, it made me really uncomfortable. I was on the H3 podcast. Anywho. There's going to be people who weren't here last year who don't really understand that joke at some point, and they're going to be like, why does Nick have a UFC arena that has Ultimate Rape Review inscribed on the... what the fuck is that? I haven't done like an episode of that show in over a year. Not over a year, like 8 months.
At the time, it was really hurtful, to be honest.
Like, we've been doing this. We've been daily uploading and shit and posting so much content that new people who are finding the channel are unaware of are unaware of how this channel was founded, and they don't get the meme.
I didn't even know how to process it in the moment, except for doing what I do best, which is putting.
Well, look, I'm sorry. I want to do more URR, but unfortunately, I can't word it like that. I'll get in a lot of trouble. I guess all the YouTubers stopped like fucking raping people. There was like a month of like February of last year, we were having like weekly YouTuber rapes where they were just like all these guys were just fiending. They were like jerking off into potted plants and fucking humping each other and shit. And everyone was fucking giving alcohol to minors. It was a fucking free for all of all these millionaire YouTubers having fucking sex orgies and shit. So there was like a ton of URRs to be had in February of last year.
Smile on things, and
it literally looked like the fucking apparently like. Every YouTube convention is like Hero-gasm from the boys.
Trying to spin it in a positive direction. Immediately afterwards, I emailed the crew asking if I could come back on the show during a live segment to talk about what I wanted to talk about in the first place, because I was worried that just the segment we had filmed...
Yeah, they literally had fucking Diddy parties. They were Doolittle parties. Wait, I'm sorry. That is an unfair comparison. I apologize.
Leave a bad taste in people's mouths.
I just picked the first YouTuber whose last name started with a D.
And make
who's been going to the Doolittle party? Wait.
them assume that I was part of this joke that I was never keyed in on. So I was on the show again.
Guys, can we make a new website called Jake Doolittle looks like PDiddy.com? Which is completely ape Ethan Klein's meme, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, does Jake Doolittle look like does Jake Doolittle look like PDiddy.com?
A few days later, after the segment...
Dude, can we do it? Dude, does Jake Doolittle look like PDiddy.com?
We had pre-filmed, aired, and they played it again, and then had me come on to talk about it.
I just can't believe that there's an H3 hater named Jake Doolittle, and it's not this guy. I like if you're just a casual watcher, you're like, there's no way this guy's name is Jake Doolittle. That's insane.
Positive, because I was hoping that if I was positive and I was focusing on the good, that people would forget about the segment, essentially. I was hoping that by focusing on kindness and grace and showing empathy, that would go farther and people would remember me by that, as opposed...
To be clear, Jake Doolittle named himself that in solidarity of fucking Biggie Littles, okay?
To what happened during that segment. Ethan and the crew talked on the show, that episode, the live one, about how they had to edit a lot of stuff down, so I hope that maybe one day they'll release the full video so that you can see all of the jokes that I was subjected to that didn't even make it into the final cut. After the episode and the days following, I posted on the subreddit thanking the host and the crew for having me on, because I wanted to focus on the positive.
You can buy the domain for 1 cent? Oh no. It's gonna get sniped. I should have said this offline.
The audience was actually really lovely to me, and I think really understood the message that I was trying to convey, despite having to fight people who just were refusing to see my humanity during that.
My humanity! Chat, it sounds like he's been like digitally assaulted. You're not gonna believe the clip when you actually see it.
I didn't want to stir up controversy because I
didn't want to stir controversy, guys. So anyways, I'm gonna stir some controversy.
I had no followers on the internet at the time, and this podcast and the host had millions.
Oh! So I had no followers on the internet, and I let myself go on as a little token small guy. And now that I'm bigger on the internet and I have a larger voice, I'm gonna cancel you for letting me do what I needed to do to survive. Wow. You know, maybe Ethan Klein isn't the fucking bigoted one. Maybe it's society who needs you to sit there and sing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory songs before they let you film the podcast you actually want to make.
The followers, and I also hadn't fully processed what had happened since the segment just had come out. So I figured if I stayed kind and positive, that people would focus on the educational purpose of my appearance as opposed to everything else. As time went on, though, I reflected on that experience more and more. I realized that these ableist jokes weren't just one-off harmless jokes. They were a part of a larger pattern of influencers on YouTube and social media using their platforms to perpetuate harmful jokes.
And if you think I'm being way too hard on this guy, I'm sorry, but like, you need to see him on the podcast to understand why I'm being so aggressive.
Ideologies.
And then see Ethan's responses to why I'm so aggressive.
About little people.
Because again, I understand if you're watching this, you're like, Nick's just picking on this fucking little man, dude. Nick literally titled this. Look, the video is titled Little and Man.
I never once in my time since then have mentioned Ethan by name or the podcast by name or encouraged people to figure out what it is. But I have talked about this in depth on my main account, Aubrey Smalls, on TikTok, but also on Instagram as well. Now Ethan is claiming that he has proof that I was okay with the appearance, and people are upset because I
we're
deleted
scared.
the post today
Ethan's threatening to expose you.
on Reddit and Instagram celebrating the appearance. And that's honestly just because those posts don't accurately represent how I feel, and I feel that they're being used to invalidate my experiences and to
he had posts up on Reddit and blew them up when he called out the pod.
Ignore the fact that there was a lot of ableist rhetoric going on, that the segment was harmful, regardless if people...
Chat, I think rhetoric is the new word that's gotta go. Mika's rhetoric, ableist rhetoric. This is like media literacy for retarded losers who cry online.
People think it was a joke or not.
Guys, it's just rhetoric, all right? Listen, there's some bad rhetoric, there's good rhetoric.
And that those posts are not proof of anything, but those moments
rhetoric is how you dress up your shitty, unedited slop content video.
After the podcast where I was trying to stay positive and pivot in a more positive direction. For those calling me a clout chaser or saying that I'm hopping on a hate train because the host is currently under some controversy, that
For anyone calling me out for that thing I'm doing, I will assure you that I definitely wanted to call him out before all the public people were going after him, and it was extremely safe to do so.
So far from the truth. I've been speaking about this.
This has nothing to do with the Palestinian conflict, I assure you.
For years now, and never once mentioned the name or the podcast.
Yeah, this happened 4 years ago, and I've exclusively talked about it when Ethan was in controversy, guys. It has nothing to do with that, and this being a safe time to expose him.
Which would be something you would do if you were looking for clouts. This is about advocating for fairness and respect, not about hating or canceling people.
Hate dies, love arrives.
The podcast may feel defensive or upset, but I urge you to see it from my perspective as someone who is subjected to...
All right, guys, get down on your knees and look at it from this guy's perspective. All right? We'll figure it out together.
Hurtful language about literally my body and the way it looks every single day, and then to have that put into a video.
Don't be mean, this guy looks up to you. Thank you.
Video form.
That was a good one, mister.
With 1.1 million views as of today. Just because one audience might see a set of jokes, funny or harmless, doesn't negate the fact that they can be harmful to the larger disability community. There is no timeline for when you're allowed to...
Dude, everything's a community now, guys. I'm not in the commentary community. I'm in the disability community. Unironically, it might be a more accurate descriptor.
Uncomfortable by a situation.
Listen, guys, as a spokesman for the disability community, we've got John Swan, Boblex, and Tipster. I consider you one of the brothers, okay?
Where, regardless if you want to admit it, ableism,
Mi casa is su casa, Biggie Smalls,
was perpetuated. And I think especially at the time, I think it's a very normal experience.
It's the little things that matter, Nick. Yeah, I agree.
It's for people to have.
He's a little mad. No, I think he big mad. Oh, he big mad. He's not just big mad, he's massively mad.
And you know what else is massive?
Sometimes freeze up in the moment and go, I'm just going to play along because I just want to get out of the situation and I don't want this to be forever how people perceive.
Oh my god, I just got the... We represent the disability community. The disability
me. Which again explains why I was trying to be so positive afterwards and thankful. I never want to burn bridges with anybody, which is why I thanked the crew, still thank the podcast host for allowing me the opportunity to come on. I know some people are also asking, why didn't you tell them you were uncomfortable? Why didn't you tell them to take the video down? And I would encourage you...
It's not a low blow.
To think about power dynamics and how those come into play.
Power dynamics, guys. You gotta think about power dynamics. For the first time, I think he means like a physical one.
Someone like me, who's already marginalized and harassed and made fun of on the internet, who has no platform, telling someone with millions of followers to take a video down. And
why did you throw the first punch? Oh my god, dude. That's so... I have no followers. Why is somebody attacking me? I don't know, dude. Why'd you fucking punch them?
Mind I tell you, I did say that I was uncomfortable with the episode that we filmed. Which
4 years later, during a height of a controversy. I don't understand. What happened?
Why I wanted to come back on again to kind of start anew. How many times have you been at...
Guys... I'm not gonna say. I think I might actually get in trouble for that joke. I was gonna make a joke about vaccines. I don't think you can do that.
Your job and maybe your boss or manager
not even once
said something to you that you have not agreed with or not felt comfortable with, but you didn't feel like you could tell them directly. Hey,
dude, no. Could you imagine if Howie Mandel pulled this guy up and said, "Is this COVID related? And if so, what do we do about it?"
Don't do that again, please. Power dynamics are a real thing,
Just like his subscribers, he is small in influence. Ethan should not be covering him.
especially when it comes to influential figures. I think the people who continue to fight against ableism, it means the world to me knowing that so many of you care so deeply about things like this and want to see an equal and inclusive world for all where nobody would find jokes about phobias of disabled people in our bodies appropriate or comedic, or something that should be platformed. And despite the comments on Reddit being made about me in an ableist way, despite the DM...
You know what I saw recently that was really cool? A video, when I was researching this, a video of a smaller dude who had like a car channel was talking about how he gets into his Ford F-150, and it was like a high up car, and this dude literally is barely like over the wheel, right? This is a big fucking car. He installed a door that you could grab under the car, basically a door handle that you pull down, and then he drilled in a step thing that you could step on the door and hop right into it. And this little dude is just driving this massive truck, and I thought that was literally awesome. So while we're sitting here making fun of this guy, I just wanted to, if I knew this creator, I would shout him out. It was like this really cool car project.
and messages that I'm getting in
Like, could you imagine? You're just a little dude or whatever, and you're just trying to get around, and you're like, I always wanted to drive like a big red fucking Ford F-150. And you just go out and you make it happen. That's pretty fucking based.
comments on these videos. I encourage you to move with kindness in response to them because...
Yeah, no, it is a pretty massive car.
And you know what else is massive?
there's not going to be any good done by fighting fire with fire. I love you guys. Keep going.
So yeah, now you hear this and you're talking like this guy was like fucking abused on the podcast, like it was a total ultimate. But this is actually the conversation here.
Yes, I mean that's powerful stuff. Okay.
Powerful stuff.
So let's watch this.
Somehow.
You're consistently slamming other people only.
I've been performing since in the entertainment industry, in the circus since I was 4. Now I do stand-up comedy. I trust.
I forgot that he was in the circus. I forgot about that part. Oh man. Oh, do I have donations still muted? I apologize. I unmuted them.
Trust me, I was not offended, and I think I could tell it wasn't really a serious comment to begin with.
Just like, when is he going to drop his big expose on the circus that literally treats you guys like animals? Hey guys, I worked at a job that treated me like an animal for a really long time, and it's really cool to be on your podcast. And then like 4 years later, hey guys, I wanted a podcast where they treated me like an animal because I was a little short dude. So, it's just crazy, dude. This is nuts.
Do you actually know any people with dwarfism?
I have patients.
Okay, who are little people?
And I didn't do that joke on them, Aubrey, in the office, by the way.
Oh, I know, Jim.
So they literally brought him on to be like a punchline while he's like educating people who clearly are making fun of him about why being a dwarf is like awesome. So like, I mean, obviously you were the butt of the joke in this. You agreed to go on here and do this.
Because I'm the dentist in the office, not the comedian.
Why would you stay if you literally realized you were the butt of the joke, if it wasn't just for like clout reasons, and then you'd have the opportunity to cry about it later?
You do come from a very different generation where there was very different representations, obviously, of little people. Even medically speaking, doctors used to still use the word midget, even though there's no such thing as a midget. We are people with dwarfism, and there's hundreds of types of dwarfism. So my only question was just if you do know little people.
We've just described, we just changed the word because it was like used as like a slur, I guess. Now we can't use it anymore. There's no such thing because they've decided that they've changed the title.
And you're not really scared of them. But do you see how maybe that would have like real world implications for a group that has no representation?
I understand.
That is ever shown in a sexual or violent manner? Like, so I'm saying, even just as a comedian, I really just don't think that.
Oh, by the way, this is also a comedian, just to be clear. In case you didn't realize, this is a man of humor, all right? A comedian, this is a man of humor.
A person?
That's the lane you want to go down.
Okay, I got you.
Do you see how it's nothing about if I find it offensive?
I understand.
I don't think you're
Yeah, if they did a movie about this guy, they'd have to cast Peter Dinklage.
that person, but as someone who's literally making a movie right
What is
now
Bunty King
about
to you? A person? Who is Bunty
Hey,
King?
we hit the goal!
Nicholas DeOrio?
That was a pretty tall goal, guys. I think we're gonna lower it down now. We're gonna lower the goal. It's a little tall. Here. Here you go.
How YouTube allows people to follow us around who sometimes are minors and go around calling us all of these names, but that aren't even names that are reflective of a medical condition, literally just a slur. Like, I just figure that you are someone who doesn't actually hate little people.
I don't hate anybody. And Zach's been telling me to quit for years. I may have to take his advice.
I don't think you should quit, but I definitely think you should realize that comedy can be sustained without literally using someone else's.
Whoa! What just happened? Did you guys see it glitch out? That was actually the browser. That wasn't the stream, dude. That looked awful. Did you see it, dude? I'm sorry. Did anybody catch that? That was what. Dude, he just started tweaking in the middle of the conversation. It just glitched out.
What do you feel? You can be honest, Jimmy.
No, I have plenty of other.
It just had like a lag spike, and he just went
jokes. I don't have
literally yapping.
to use the midget joke.
Everyone can be joked about. I just think it's the offhandedness and the fact that you're just quick to move on to another joke. Where I get followed in stores, and I have someone online literally who's been stalking and threatening and harassing me just because I have dwarfism. He calls it Midget Wednesday.
Dude.
And I just don't think you would want to be associated.
Wait, then Ethan Klein, like he jumps in. Did you hear that? Was that him?
Because I have dwarfism. He calls it Midget Wednesday. And I just don't think you would want to be.
Like he hot mic'd out there because he couldn't believe those words. Like, he's not even in the segment. And he hot mic'd. What the hell did he just say?
Associated with
no, I don't. I'm going to let that one go.
Jimmy, this is an iconic conversation then, you realize.
Well, I'm not ever going to do a little people joke again. We're going to knock that off the dock. We're letting it go after listening to you.
Can you look at me without your sunglasses and give that to me in the camera?
We're swearing off little people jokes.
Oh, he even got the term right.
You weren't that easy.
I have a zillion other jokes. You can take the little people jokes out.
We appreciate, your perspective, Aubrey. It's been very informative and enlightening, and I hope it's
like this guy is clearly just the butt of the jokes. They just brought this guy on to do this
What
bit.
is Bunty King to you?
a person.
Who is Bunty King?
And it's so obvious, and he's totally going along with it.
It's resonating.
Like, I love talking and arguing. It's if I ever came across a certain way, please don't think you.
Oh my God!
Talk about little people that I hear every single day. So it's not about being offended at all.
Oh really? This has nothing to do with being offended. Oh wow!
Like, Gary, I'm like
harmful intended. I just do comedy.
I love it, and again, I'm a comedian, guys. You don't know my humor too, so you don't know I could be just as. But no,
You've never heard my jokes about black people. I'm kidding. Can you imagine this guy just went on like a racist tirade? He's like, listen, I'm a comedian. I love jokes. Anyway, the riots.
I'm a Jew. I'm right here. Just don't shoot me.
we don't need to make
Two Jews planning a fire.
Two Jews walk into a bar.
Wait a minute. Chat. The VOD watchers don't realize that we're actually filming this on Wednesday. I forgot it was... Holy shit, no way. I didn't even realize we're filming this segment on Wednesday. That's so bad. I didn't do that on purpose. I was gonna postpone the segment, and I didn't. And I fucking did it anyway. I'm hungover to shit. Holy fuck, what the hell?
Lots of other content out there, and that's what I would just like to say as my final.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm contributing.
Jimmy, please look up
I cannot put the sponsor segment on this one. I just can't do it.
DearAverageTypePeople.com.
Oh my god, dude. Go to DearAverageTypePeople.com.
A documented comedy festival about that disability hate group because YouTube just doesn't care enough to protect small creators. So it's DearAverageTypePeople.com, and we're raising money right now to finish the film. Jimmy, you would love this. It's a comedy special, Jimmy. We're making fun of ourselves. We're making fun of everybody. The point is to bridge the gap between people like you and people like me.
We want to say one thing. Me and Guy are going to say together.
Apparently Zog means Zionist occupied government. Well, I mean, I feel like that's a fair joke to make. I can say Zog Chow specifically because you're just allowed to make jokes like that now. Like all the big streamers on Twitch are like openly anti-Semitic. So I mean, if I make a joke calling something Zog Chow, they can't get mad at me. It's the glitch. I'm allowed to joke about this. It's legal. If it's on a Hassan Piker stream in 2025, I am allowed to make those jokes because Twitch has the harshest policies. So
we love you.
Oh my god. So yeah, that was the clip.
I don't respect you.
Now, I know that. So the H3H3 subreddit posted this, right? And then they got their shit in here. I never take screenshots of Reddit posts, but even I did when I saw this mentioned earlier. Literally says the crew was respectful. So this is the post that's been deleted. All right. Shout out to the Dwamley. Shout out to the Dwamley. It's Aubrey, the person with dwarfism. Thank you, Ethan and the crew, and everyone in chat for being so welcoming and respectful. And shout out to Cam for the editing. If anybody wants to donate, we have 16 days left, and then he's begging for money. He's begging for money. Holy shit, many such cases. I called him out in the TikTok comments and started getting likes, so he deleted my comment. I thought it would end up being a misunderstanding. I never expected Aubrey to be the next Comrade Casey or Jake Doolittle. Holy shit. So you want to watch this guy get lampooned? Now we're going to watch the Klein crime family take him down.
Into this first hater award. Aubrey.
Oh, boy.
Now, if you don't remember Aubrey, let me refresh you.
I was actually watching this entire I was walking in and out periodically, but this was the first H3 podcast that I'd sat through for years, and it was legitimately funny. We're going to be watching a large portion of it tonight, and I recommend you watch the rest of it. The parts that we don't see here, I recommend you go to the H3. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I've made several high-profile videos on Ethan. I've been heavily critical of him for years, and I am promoting the H3 podcast today. I think you should watch this episode. It is really good.
He is a little person and an activist, and there was a time during Jimmy Lee's arc on this show where he was using the M word, which is really derogatory for little people, and we were trying to break through to him.
Wait, he called him a... Never mind. I can't make that joke. The M word. Dude, he called him a fucking... I'm sorry, I'm getting in trouble.
He should not use that language anymore. Aubrey was a fan of the show at the time.
He called it with an A, not an R, to be clear. He's the hard M word.
And
the soft
he wrote
A.
in...
The soft
What is Bunty King to you?
A person?
Who is Bunty King?
wanting to
Nicholas DeOrio?
participate in educating Jimmy Lee. Let's start by showing you the video he put out, and then we'll
He called him a munchkin. You guys are awful. You're awful people. Holy
go over
shit.
everything else. Yeah.
So there was a podcast that I was on one time, and it was a horrible experience, and it's why I'm never going to go on another podcast again. And no, I will not be naming
All right, we've all seen this stuff. Actually, no, because I want to hear what you
podcasts,
say.
even though some of you definitely know what I'm talking about. But they had a segment one time with the podcast.
And again, this is so much harder to listen to now because we literally have this guy on fucking paper saying like, hey guys, I had a great time on the podcast. Anyway, thank you for being so inclusive and understanding about my personal fucking gripes.
Podcast owner's dad and some comedian.
I can't believe Ethan Klein is minimizing this man's story.
Who, mind you, the same podcast is now accusing of SA years later. But
What is that? Did I do the essay? Like, what's the point of saying that?
What am I gonna do? No, you don't understand. You're my essay. That's what you are, Ethan. You're my essay.
That.
What podcast was it? Is the H3 podcast. If you want to watch the episode, the one where he responds is episode 96, H3 show 96 from 6 days ago. If you want to watch the original call-in, this is H3 TV 45, and it was streamed on August 1st, 2022.
He was on my show a few years ago, so then I feel like, what the fuck? Anyway, from the beginning, he's
Come on, lowrider, take it easy.
trying to bitch out and be like, I'm not going to say the show, so they can't respond to me. It's like everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
I think I got the lyric wrong, but you understand where I was going with that.
Oh, dude.
Was it
Okay.
Slow Rider? I forgot.
let's-
It's Flow Rider.
Let's stop doing some bullshit.
Let's get low, 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 low. Oh no. Oh no.
Cowardly shit like that, okay? Everybody knows you're talking about us, so let's just say what you want and stop being a baby. Like, go ahead.
the comedian one day was talking in a bit about how he has a phobia of little people. And they were going on and on about a lot of miseducation around dwarfism in general. So I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect time to educate people. We love a good educational moment, especially as a viewer at the time with dwarfism.
Yeah,
So
dude, I went on the H3 podcast because I just figured that he would do a large, unprompted segment just explaining midgetism to the entire... I've created a new term, by the way. Midgetism.
I wrote on their subreddit. I was like, hey, I'm a filmmaker and educator. I would love to come on and educate you guys and talk
I'm a
about...
filmmaking
the
comedian
specifically the
educator.
phobia of little people, since I know that's such a...
This is like a Twitter bio for like a 19-year-old fucking depressed girl or whatever, where it says like autistic cat girl, and just lists 15 different 15 different things you'd require a mood stabilizer for. Only it's him explaining his credentials.
Great area for a lot of people.
Basically the average Turkey Tom fan.
So the post blew up. All the followers.
Yeah, the average Turkey Tom BPD fan.
The fans of the show were like, we'd love to see Aubrey on the show. They reached out, and then...
By the way, me putting this at 125 is making this way funnier. Holy shit, dude. It is way funnier when this is at 1.25 speed.
Next thing you know, I'm in the waiting room the next episode to talk to the comedian and the podcast owner's dad. And I thought this was going to be
Ethan is looking so healthy. The weight loss is insane. I'm rooting for Ethan, loving the arc. Unironically, people were trying to pull up my comments that I made about Ethan 4 years ago. And they don't understand the irony of them. It's like, yes, I was critical for Ethan in those situations. Absolutely. I stand by majority of those criticisms today. I think they age extremely well. I'm getting mad at you guys for regurgitating my arguments when you left me out to dry years ago. All right, I said all this stuff. I pulled up all those clips. When they were more topically relevant, I pulled all those clips up, and now you're canceling him because he had the wrong take on Palestine. You don't give a fuck about any of these positions. You're just running a new purity test. I don't respect you. If you look at these comments and you're like, Nick had good takes back in the day, what the fuck happened? You were probably the people calling me an anti-Semite and a fucking racist. The reality was, Ethan was pandering to you people, which was making all of his content horrible and fucking terrible, and he was a crazy fucking loser for a bunch of years. Doing just like this weird fucking purity test Zog Chow slop the entire fucking time. All right. So the fact that I agree with him then, I'm sorry, I disagree with him then and agree with him now. You need to realize that you, the viewer, who are making this connection, are the common denominator. Okay, I haven't switched my position, motherfucker. You switched your position on Ethan, so now you're just regurgitating all of my old talking points.
Occasional little moment.
This is what Vosh meant when he said short stack goblin. Bungus, you're a monster. You're a monster, dude.
Slimy Weasley fuck.
If we get 6 more of him, do you think we can get him to sing Hi-Ho for us?
Thank you, sleep paralysis gremlin.
I was coming on to be a bit. They essentially had, leading up to my appearance, a whole compilation.
That's an outright malicious lie. That's provable. I don't know why he's doing this. It's disgusting, especially considering like his whole point is like activism. And I feel like it was actually like a wholesome, good moment. And I mean, in terms of like,
by the way, do you know how hard it was to get on this podcast as like a literal no talent, fucking no audience shitter back in the day? Like, do you remember when they had on the guy who made like the FUPA hat or whatever? That was like a moving Ethan Klein hat, and they gave him like 15 minutes of airtime. So to give this guy any airtime, even if he was simply there as comedic relief, I mean, like, you're welcome. It's not like he was inviting every glup shitto off the side of the road.
Teaching people about like a prejudice.
He's the Keebler elf trying to take down Ethan.
Against little people. That was, and to imply that that wasn't the intention and that it was to bring him on and humiliate him or something is just a malicious outright lie that I will prove to you, but I'm going to continue watching his video and then I'll show you everything we've got.
Of this guy, all the times that he said publicly on the internet that he's afraid of little people, and just a lot of derogatory jokes about little people. And then they were like, and drum roll, we have a little person to surprise you. And they brought me in with basically no warning.
With no warning, bitch, did you log in? Like, you didn't agree to this? He hacked your webcam and just dropped you in the podcast? What does no warning mean for a scheduled appearance?
Why?
I mean, no warning.
Why would you say that?
That's crazy.
When it's so...
You know that you have to be, like, connected to the stream, right? He can't just decide, oh, I've got a midget on, I've turned on his webcam while you're, like, fucking... just fucking going, dude.
Any receipts, dude? Like, what are you doing?
You guys don't remember?
Oh, I understand.
Oh no! What am I gonna do?
Idojsen in the chat said it was actually... oh, no, sorry, that was the wrong one. Bygoats said it was actually short notice. I didn't realize that.
Embarrassing!
Wait a minute.
You don't remember us dragging him in?
What does he mean, no warning? Like,
I don't know.
Like we had him blindfolded and we walked him in?
The warning existed. It was in writing.
We're going to show you guys. You're going to laugh when you see all this. The part that pisses me off, though, is like, it's such a transparent attempt to cash in on all the people that hate me on TikTok.
Hey,
like,
we
it's
hit the
so
goal.
fucking transparent, bro,
Based.
that it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic, man. And so, what I said at the time when I made a story about this is like, this shit, this shit's not paying out anymore. I'm not going to sit here and let you lie about me. Like, fuck you, dude.
It's so unfortunate because
his TikTok is so informational, and
everyone gets madder and madder at Ethan responding to hate, and unironically, this has been like his best arc ever. I think he's overdone it in some places for sure, and I think that's very fair criticism. And I think he is taking a lot of this personal, but because it is kind of personal. All these people who would have just gladly promoted him for years and years and years, despite all of these flaws, were actually just sitting there with a pen and paper, getting ready to purity test him the second he stood out of line. That's what happened, dude. These people literally sat there and they're like, go Queen, go, W, maximum Riz, chat. While they were sitting there with their little notebooks writing down and clipping shit to use against him in the future. Crazy.
Yeah, he seems to be actually wanting to spread the word, but doing something like this, such a move just to get views, it goes against his whole like thing about education.
He really didn't think I'd respond because like he must have known that we have like can disprove literally everything he's...
No, because none of these people are intelligent. They think they can just literally cash in on this. And just because everybody hates Ethan Klein right now, you have permission to lie.
Said.
Yeah, it makes me really sad just because like we were always on Aubrey's team.
Yeah.
Like we were not on Jimmy's.
Dude, you know why that me and Ethan have a fake friendship now? Again, I don't talk to Ethan, but like, you know why me and Ethan have a fake friendship? You guys have literally thrown him over to me. Okay, somebody who actually hated Ethan Klein, somebody who was highly critical of him for years. Okay, you guys have treated him so poorly that I feel like I need to say something. I need to like defend this guy because you've literally just thrown him to the fucking... You've just disowned him. You've disavowed him. You've slandered him because he just didn't agree with Hassan Piker. Yeah, you've created... I'm not a fallen fan. If anything, I've fallen upward because of the way you treated this guy. So yeah, oh, yeah, look, his only ally is fucking Nick DeOrio. That's because all of you guys stabbed him in the back, and I'm the only one left to have an opinion on this who's not compromised.
Team. That was... You were never...
I'm a fucking risen fan. I have risen. I have ascended. I am a risen fan of Ethan Klein.
Is a bit...
That's going to be a soundbite.
And it does hurt that, like, you would even say that or think that. Like... None of us
It's
here.
like Ethan said, he's cashing in.
He made this cynically to cash in, and it just goes to show you the like the anti-Ethan like hate, how fucking it's resonating on some of the social medias, Twitter and TikTok, because like
I have maximum risen fan energy, like W plus maximum risen fan.
They'll convince themselves pretty much of anything. Like, oh yeah, of course Ethan brought out a little person to humiliate him for no reason, like a sideshow or some shit. You know. Fuck you, bro.
Yeah, and it's like the people seeing this, they're not going to go watch the segment. They're just going to take his word for it.
Why should they not believe him?
Yeah.
Who would, you know, yeah.
And when looking through the Reddit about things about him and like...
By the way...
What is Bunty King to you?
Keemstar should create LolCow Little and do...
DeOrio?
You know how Keem has got like 16 shows in the LolCow cinematic universe? Could you imagine he does LolCow Little? Like that's the next show? Like, what is it? Where are we gonna go? What's the next spin-off of LolCow gonna be?
Putting all the pieces together this morning, like
Little Cow. Wait, what's a small cow called? What is the the LolCalf podcast? Could you imagine LolCalf live?
I've seen multiple things of our viewers sharing. It's like Aubrey's doing this. Let's go support him, and like that. Our viewers have always been so supportive, and like we've come back to it. Like brought up donations he's been promoting. And like, I don't know what would lead you to do this. It's very disappointing.
Just cynical.
Yeah, very cynical. Straight up.
Clout chasing. That's it.
This guy's such a clout chaser, he'd probably join LolCalf. He would like set his own people back 100 years just for the dribble of clout that Keem could offer on LolCalf Live.
Makes me exceptionally sad is that like I think it's been a couple years, like we followed each other on
the entire podcast is just a series of YouTube shorts. No way.
Instagram. We said happy birthday.
It's the first YouTube short oriented show.
I thought like
they literally fucking stream in like vertical. That's part of the gimmick is they stream in vertical.
Like, the fact that he thought I wasn't on his team and like thought he was a bit like that makes me so sad.
Wait, and then Airsoft Fatty will be the herder? Yeah, dude.
I think that's
he
a
didn't.
clear
That's
example.
the thing. He's lying.
Yeah,
he didn't think that, and it's obvious. He knew our intention.
He would sell out so hard for LolCalf. Dude, I gotta call Keem. Hold on. I'm gonna call Keem right now. He's gonna ignore me because I'm calling on stream. You pick up the phone, motherfucker. It's for the bit, you little bastard. Yo, we're live. Just I have a question. I have a pitch for you. Can you run a new show?
Yeah, what's up?
I want you to do a lolcow show, but it's midgets, and it's all done exclusively through live YouTube shorts. So you do like the live vertical angle, and it's called lolcaf. Lolcaf live.
You mean little people?
Yeah, but no, they're not little people. They're lolcafs. Vertical video, YouTube shorts. You don't have a YouTube short live stream channel yet. This is a banger meme. I got your first one. The first lolcaf could be Aubrey Smalls from the H3 podcast. He'll literally get on his hands and knees and lick the money off the floor. Bring him in.
I'm on it.
Yes! Thank you, Keem.
Right,
see you later, buddy.
And just, you knew who we are, and he's here fucking lying intentionally just for clout. That's it. And
Literally a Doolittle. Same exact thing.
Yeah, it's Jake Doolittle part 2 up in this bitch. And like I said, wait till you see the receipts. We're talking a lot. I haven't shown you guys anything, so let me just let him finish his video, and then we'll get to the...
Guys, the first episode is... They call the first episode Short Stack Goblin. And it's like... It's because it'll announce the spinoff of lolcaf Queens. Dude, this is a crazy market.
The goods.
And the whole bit was basically just about...
But the title is, I'm really confused by this call-up post, because everybody was like, I saw this TikTok today by a disability educator I follow and really respect, and it sounded like they were talking about this episode from 2 years ago. I went back and rewatched the whole segment, and I feel like it was a really enlightening and respectful conversation. Aubrey was listening in the whole conversation and was not brought in by surprise. The crew seemed to be respectful and open-minded for the most part. I don't know. I'm confused. Does anyone think this might be a different podcast? Yeah.
But unironically, the best part of that bit is like what I just ran by Keem is what these people want everyone to believe that Ethan is doing. Like, how absurd was that fucking example that I just gave, that I just created out of thin air? But like, that's what the H3 Snark subreddit wants you to think that Ethan just did to Aubrey. It's not even a straw man. That's what they want to be portrayed publicly. They want the takeaway of that one Ethan segment and then the subsequent one that came after it to be like, they're exploiting Aubrey.
Unfortunately,
no.
That's how fucked up it is that like you would think it must be a different podcast. What fucking ass.
About having a little person go against two guys.
Yeah, when you put W in the chat, it's got to be lowercase on lolcaf.
Guys who were just talking about how little people, what are they going to do? Kick you in the shins? And then brought me in. And it just really solidifies the fact that, one, I'm a class act. Because I wanted to cuss them out. But I do believe in digital footprint.
You are a fucking piece of shit. Class act. You're the absolute...
You're the opposite of a class act.
You are a pathetic
zero class.
loser. And just because like, I'm a big account... And
motherfucker's a preschool act.
I'm like a successful YouTuber or whatever the fuck you want to say. Doesn't mean that I get to lay down and let people fucking shit all over me like that. Fuck.
All right, you're just trying to get on his level, Ethan. Calm down.
Fuck you, dude. You're not a class act. You're a piece of shit.
And mind you, this was in front of like 50,000 people watching live. And because what you're not going to do is pretend like just because I have dwarfism that you can suddenly start making...
Don't call him a circus act. He only worked there for 3 years, okay? He was only in the circus for 3 years.
...jokes as if I'm not a grown man who pays taxes and like has a life.
What you're not going to do is sit here and fucking lie about me on TikTok, bitch. Fuck you.
Shame on you, weirdo. But two, again, I'm an educator. I do believe in trying my best.
Like, I don't understand. I can't make a joke about little people, but this guy can go and like defame somebody publicly because he's a little fucking nothing content creator and he needs some clout. He needs to suckle some clout for the day. You're allowed to just completely slander somebody. Like, Nick DeOrio is such a bad guy because he made a couple of jokes and he's getting short on stream about it. But like, you're just allowed to defame somebody publicly.
And
I'm about to give you an education on talking shit.
Yeah.
You're about to find out. You know what I mean?
PhD.
And it's crazy because every single fucking person in this entire situation who's gonna watch this video and condemn me, and they're like, Nick is making jokes about like physical appearance and physical traits. You know that it's just gonna be layered in fat jokes, right? Like, oh, how dare you attack Aubrey's physical appearance? Then it's like, how dare that fat fuck Nick DeOrio go after any physical traits, dude. That little fat motherfucker is going after physical traits.
You gotta fucking learn something here, Aubrey. Get your shit together, you fucking asshole. What a dickhead.
Wow, you've got me.
They weren't willing to...
Also, the way he's so smarmy and so condescending, like, was so obvious, you know what I mean? Fuck that.
Listen, they weren't wanting to listen. The whole crew was just laughing the whole time. And
he's going after you guys.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That like hurts to hear.
Like,
no, we weren't. Maybe laughing.
By the way, I don't know if you know this. It's relevant. H3 Snark has declared war on Ethan's fucking team. Like, Ethan's employees. They've declared war on all of them. So, yeah, I mean, they're all just... There is no survivors from this crying fucking rampage.
Like, how horrible...
Yeah, they've declared a jihad. I mean, that's probably a more accurate term.
Bull Jimmy is, but we would never laugh at you.
The guy was a fan of the show. He knows exactly who Jimmy is, what the context was, what he was there to do.
And like, here's the thing that makes me especially sad is it certainly is possible that what Jimmy said on that call hurt.
Nick, you should host Keem's new podcast, Lol Cow Large. Unfortunately, that's kind of just Lol Cow Live. It wouldn't be really too different than the rest of the shows. Could you imagine they did Lol Cow Large and they just had to pick every fat person from every show and it would be like a fucking Brady Bunch picture of like all the fat people in every show?
Aubrey. Jimmy, that was the point of the conversation. Aubrey asked to
educate him. Yeah,
that was his point. That was his idea.
Yeah, it's just, so if something that Jimmy said did stick with Aubrey and hurt Aubrey, I'm sorry. However, you're saying that we were all laughing at you when we made you a bit, which is not true.
Also,
it's provably not true.
It's provably not true.
I don't want it to seem like we're telling like, hey, no, you're wrong. It wasn't offensive. Your perception's wrong. No, it's not a perception thing. Just wait. This guy is fucking lying.
You'll see. It's hilarious.
He also said we surprised him with this live in front of 50,000 people. This was not a live episode.
Wait!
It was a pre-recorded episode.
No way!
What the hell?
And so, and if you were upset, we could have...
Wait, it was pre-recorded? I didn't even know that! So he was fucking jumped on a pre-recorded show.
We could have cut it. You know what I mean? Like, there was a long opportunity to do so.
Wait, he just straight up lied about it being live?
I think
Dude, he didn't even know. Wow.
On the show twice. There was this, and then because of the way that it went with Jimmy, where Jimmy and your dad were just not having the breakthrough that we were looking for, we decided to have him on again with just him and just talk to him about his movie and his activism and everything, and that was just a straightforward conversation with him.
My
that
God.
one was live. But yeah, it's possible he was just confusing the two. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. That's possible. Sure.
It was like an out-of-body experience. I definitely disassociated for maybe 30 seconds because I was like, it's very strange watching something that you consumed for so long and then finally being involved in that circle and then just realizing you're there to be a joke. Very weird thing. And it really, now I'm so conscious of how, of what
I've become awoken in the last 4 years and I realized that my lived experience was taken advantage of.
Say yes to and the things that I say and participate in. And the only podcast I listen to now, because I ain't listening to that anymore, is because
you guys know how annoying that guy Ethan likes killing Palestinian babies. Can I get some Wayos in chat?
True.
I think a part of this too is that like people were like, "Weren't you on the H3 show?" Because people are so fucking pathetic.
Yeah,
right.
Potentially.
He's like, "No, they were actually mean to me, and they hate little people." And
Oh no! What am I gonna do?
All of Ethan's haters that terrify his audience and fucking stalk every member of the show would easily be like the least bad person to ever come for me in the last 6 years. So I'm sorry to all of those people. I'm gonna do as many fucking streams as I want about it. Okay, I'm not some retarded loser who's gonna cry or whatever because some people are fucking coming after me, dude. I'm sorry. You can't bully me out of this one. I'm gonna grind this into the dirt.
No, not me.
You've got the wrong guy.
This is where it becomes worse in my opinion.
Boom!
He's like, I was a fan of that show for years, but all of a sudden now, everything he's done...
I'm a risen fan with maximum riz.
Before I started watching is too offensive for me.
Yep.
That's a through line you see of all these new hater videos. They're like, actually, Ethan's the most offensive person in the world, and I've been a fan of theirs for 5 years, and everything that I'm criticizing him for happened before I started watching.
I may have laughed at the time, but now I'm upset.
I don't remember. I can't disprove the laughter.
Because we love the girlies, and one of them actually has a child with a disability and talks so openly and respectfully about that. And then also I listen to my own podcast because I love the sound of my own voice.
Yeah,
sorry.
totally.
Some of us have soothing, calming voices that
Please laugh. Please laugh. Don't just be me.
Listen to my own podcast because I love the sound of my own voice.
Oh no.
Yeah,
sorry.
totally.
Some of us have soothing, calming voices that's enjoyable to listen to.
No. Not in this case.
Was this whole thing a plug for his own podcast?
I mean, yeah, it's all self-serving, just an outright lie.
Yeah.
But don't worry about me, though. I'm doing better things. At the time, I had just started working on my documentary, and I was also told them that I would love to talk to people about that and why I was making a documentary about little people that actually hired little people behind the camera and in front of the camera in the first place, you know, because of issues like us being constantly used as like I'm scared of little people and the experiences that we have. But that fundraiser, it took a long time to reach our goal, but we finally did a couple months ago in the summer, which was really exciting. And also, I'm still hot, so... And the podcast owner now is crashing out on the internet publicly, so...
And that detail is important. Why? You know what I mean? Like, it's so obvious, bro. I'm crashing out. Like, what the fuck? What does that have to do with me, this story, apparently? I am about to crash out. Fuck! That's true. I'm about to fucking crash land on your fucking...
I really like you.
Why?
Reputation, dude, because you're a liar. Here, let me see. Is it? Did he erase it, or?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because I know.
I'm looking for
I think he probably panicked when I responded. I responded on Instagram Live when I saw this, and
Instagram story
or Instagram story. Yeah. Do we have that?
I want to pull this up. Check
How
this
fucked
out.
up of a movie Tiptoes is. So it wasn't even like with zero contact.
Wait, I didn't even see this one. Ethan, I'm an actor with dwarfism. I'm currently making a documentary comedy special about disability hate on YouTube that's been cyberbullying me for a year. I would love to call in tomorrow during the Tippy Toes segment and chat Jimmy Lee's LP phobia and dwarfism representation. So you were begging for it. Your little ass was begging for it, chat.
Watching it, which ended up.
Oh my
miserably.
god, dude! This is I actually skipped this part because I hadn't seen this. I jumped in. I was watching the Mika section. I think I walked away from most of this
because we got copyright struck immediately.
I don't know what I thought about that idea, but here here's one of his comments saying he wants to speak with Jimmy.
Did you see Dark Viper did a plushie? Yeah, I saw it sold immediately. Crazy, dude. Good for him.
His idea.
Did I not ask you nicely?
He says he's
This is the best ever.
He actually writes it out like he's writing a contract.
Bro, write a contract and I'd write it in reply. Yeah.
I wonder if this is permissible evidence.
I mean, as close as
Oh
it could be.
god, dude.
Aubrey Smalls volunteered to spend a day with Jimmy and change his mind about the dwarfism
Dude,
community.
look how much of a clout goblin this kid is. Holy shit, dude. I'm gonna go to a comedian that makes jokes about little people, then he's gonna make jokes to me, and I'm gonna cry about it on Instagram 4 years later when the Palestine conflict is going on, so I could just suck a little clout off the teat of Ethan Klein. What a fucking loser, dude. What a fucking small-time goblin.
Maybe I can even get him to donate to our movie that has multiple
Literally a goblin. Dude, Aubrey went goblin mode. This is so fucked.
dwarves in it. Thank you for sharing this. Isn't it amazing the impact representation can have on people's lives, outlooks, and how they treat others? Many people I meet admit they have zero knowledge on people with dwarfism, and that's not their fault. Over 100,000 people are born with dwarfism every year. To average height people, but all we have is what? Munchkins, Oompa Loompas, Peter Dinklage, and Game of Thrones? I'm trying to give people more reference when they think of little people in Hollywood. Since Hollywood is still putting us in the Dwarf Villager 1 category, I decided to write our own movie while telling a true story about my experience with online harassment due to my dwarfism. I, Aubrey Smalls, volunteer. But okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, dude, he was totally fucking blindsided.
Here is an email exchange that we had with him. This is when stuff that is not public, but is now public.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is you talking to him, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Dan says, hi there. Saw your post about potentially calling into the podcast during the Tiptoes stream to discuss dwarfism representation in Jimmy Lee. Now, unfortunately, the Tiptoes live stream didn't exactly pan out as expected, but we wanted to reach out for another option. Tomorrow, we're filming an episode.
So they realized that the stuff that we saw wasn't really what they wanted to do, so they brought him on to just do his thing anyway in a second segment. Like, I'm sorry. These guys were super good to this dude. Like, Aubrey literally was treated so well, and he's on record saying he was treated so well. It's actually absurd to lie like this. It's brutal.
So with Ethan's dad and Jimmy Lee in an old couple sort of situation, and we'll need to confront Jimmy again. Notice the word confront about his problematic jokes to see if we can get through. It's cut off there, but I'm assuming to him.
Yeah.
The clips we want to ask him about is the dwarfism jokes from the previous appearance of his. We tell him specifically what we're...
Super specific about what we were doing. Totally
Oh my God.
Like Jimmy had said,
fully aware.
I forget what he said, but it was something really super offensive to little people.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about it. We had acknowledged it. And we had told him specifically what it was. Now, what we wanted to ask, would you be interested in calling in to discuss with him why his joke might be offensive? We'll totally be there to back you up during the conversation because he has to chill out a bit. Haha. If you're not comfortable with this, we totally understand. Another option would be just send in a video message and we can play it for
I
him
literally
during the
can't
recording.
believe the angle this
interested
kid
in
took.
either
I mean, obviously it was 45 degrees, but the angle that this fucking guy took to try to like paint this podcast.
those options? We're taping tomorrow around 12
It was definitely acute, but
p.m. Let me know. Thanks so much for reading and looking forward to hearing from you. So again, we gave him not only the option, we told him exactly what was going to happen.
yeah, again, the description was I was blindsided by Ethan's crew in this pre-recorded podcast where I was prepped ahead of time what jokes were some of the jokes that they would be talking about.
He's going to come in, he's going to confront Jimmy Lee on this specific joke.
That there would be a compilation.
Hey, there's an aggro person who makes tons of jokes about little people. I'm bringing you on as a guest segment. Oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. That's awesome. Great. I'm so down. This is where I was raped on the Ethan Klein podcast 4 years ago. My innocence has never returned to me. Like, oh, God, these pathetic little fucking pieces of shit.
Of his previous jokes, and then that we confront him about it, which is exactly what he cited as being.
I'm sorry, like, this legitimately makes me really mad. This really does make me mad. I hate people like this.
Like, you know, him not being in the loop.
Blindsided him.
That we blindsided him.
And then we even gave him the option, like, hey, if this sounds like too, you know,
yeah, if you don't want to do that, here's an alternative option. And then, of course, there's also the option of if you're not comfortable doing it, you don't have to do it at all.
Yeah, because our intentions were good. We wanted him to feel comfortable and have a wholesome experience.
Somebody just said, do you think you can handle a Magnum? And I don't know if you're talking about the condom or the gun, but both of those is a hilarious fucking... That's fucked. Could you imagine him looking like a deagle?
Where he came out looking and feeling good about it.
Yeah.
And that is what happened.
Yeah. We also were thrilled to platform an educational creator who could teach Jimmy.
It was a win-win-win.
We were thrilled.
Like, so we thought.
He responds, hi, hope you're doing well. Thanks for response. I'll be totally down to call into the chat with them, and I'm available tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST. Perfect. Thank you so much. I will shoot you an email tomorrow around 11, and we can set up a Zoom test, and then...
Like, I will cover this stuff endlessly. I'll make any amount of streams possible. I have no interest in going on his show. I have no interest in collaborating with Ethan Klein in any capacity. I am perfectly fine with just covering everything here. And it's so funny that all these little people who are... I gotta stop saying little people. But all these fucking losers who wanted to, like, beg and suckle for clout are doing all this fucking performative bullshit right now. Like, and then they'll be the first ones to be like, Nick DeOrio, clout chaser. He's just riding for Ethan because it's the wave. It's like, I'm sorry, dude. You don't have any controversial thing to say.
We'll be looking for
Half of these people think Free Palestine is a controversial take to post on Twitter. The only place that's controversial is your job. It's not controversial on general social media to have that position. You're not based or epic because you have the correct, like, not the correct, but you have the fucking, you have the correct take in, like, those social in-groups that you guys pander to all the time.
Forward to chatting on the show. Thanks, Aubrey. Talk soon. Sounds great. Continuing on. So you sent him a thank you?
Yes, this is afterwards.
After the show, Dan sent him a thank you.
After the recording. Hadn't aired yet. Keep in mind. This is just, we
was not
recorded
live.
it. This was not live.
Tank.
Yep.
Hi, Aubrey. Thank you for calling in. That got a little spicy, and we appreciate you trying your best to educate and inform using the platform. Not sure how...
Chat, I'm going to drop the hardest take of the year. Israel should expand its border. I'm kidding. Could you imagine? It's like, guys, we're going the complete opposite way. Israel needs to expand its borders. It should invade... Like, the U.S. should invade Canada. Israel should invade the Atlantic Ocean.
It will resonate with Jimmy's long term, but we definitely...
I couldn't even point out Israel on a map, dude. I got to be honest. I literally could not pinpoint Israel on a map. I wouldn't even know what joke to make.
To debrief with him and talk it out. Hopefully it wasn't too much for you. There are more...
You want to do a whole stream trying to understand the Israel-Palestine... Of course you don't. But maybe it would be funny. Just trying to figure out what's happening.
Than expected. We will keep you posted on when it will come out. Thanks again, and let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, I agree in a two-state solution. I think they should both state their grievances with one another, both of them, in words, okay? And not by blowing up women and children. That's the two-state solution. They use their words to state what they would like from each other, and they do not kill women and children. I think that would be a solid solution.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Nicholas
Explain it in
DeOrio.
Fortnite terms. Okay, so in Lucky Lodge is having a... Weeping Woods is having a problem with Wailing Woods, okay? Because they both previously occupied the same amount of turf. But the people of Wailing Woods have been historically chased out of modern society for hundreds of years, and they've been given a place to stay.
A person? Who is Monty King?
So there is a current dispute, but the people of Weeping Woods don't want to coexist with these people, and the people of Wailing Woods don't want to coexist with the people of Weeping Woods. And both of them are probably going to fight until every player is eliminated, and that's basically the only way the solution is actually going to happen. And America keeps putting in chug jugs to try to get like stealthily get involved with the conflict.
For having me. Such an honor to chat, even though I know things got awkward for everybody. I would honestly love to chat about calling back in to talk about what the Reddit post was actually about. I was really inspired by the outpouring of support from fellow H3 listeners who are rooting for a positive discussion on dwarfism.
Oh shit, guys, we got a new goal.
Outside of Jimmy's comments. I'm usually not so serious, and neither is the project I'm making. It's more surrealistic, artistic, educational content than anything. Haha. I know we didn't have a chance to do that today, but I've seen the positive impact H3 has had in the YouTube atmosphere, and I would love to chat about the chance to move the to move the ball forward. I lost my spot because it zoomed in.
Move the ball forward for the community. I know.
Oh, there you go.
I know,
and plus, I know and love to. Let me read that again. To push the ball forward for the community I know and love. Plus, Ethan the other night said, disabled people are heroes, and I agree. There are so many iconic people with dwarfism out there.
Oh my god,
that your listeners
dude!
seem to be down to
Ethan
talk more
said
about.
disabled people are heroes.
Let me know what you think. He seems to like me. Yeah. He seems to respect me at this time. For he's interesting. Now I'm crashing out. He's getting his revenge on me because I'm crashing out. We continue. Dan responds to him.
Yeah.
We would love to have you call back in. We are editing the episode together for next week, as we have a guest tomorrow, so it'll likely be out next Friday. And then once it's out, we would love to debrief and talk more about your post and project. Once our editor finalizes it and we lock in the date, I'll be sure to let you know ASAP. You're the best. Talk soon. Hi, Aubrey. I know it's a bit last minute, but is there any chance you'd be available to call in today? We're currently live and we'd love to hear from you. I would love to. I'm watching now. Oh,
do you think Ethan will collaborate with URR? If Ethan decides one day that he wants to go completely goblin mode...
Do you think Ethan will ever collab for us?
Yeah, if he wants to blow up his entire career, he could co-host with me one day.
Like a big fan.
Uh-huh.
If Ethan wants to be publicly destroyed, yeah, he should totally collab with me.
Thank you guys for making it happen and being so cool. You guys rock. Please let everyone know how thankful I am.
You have a better chance of Keem and Ethan on frenemies.
After the show. Dan said, appreciate you, Aubrey. So does our...
Tomato Town is clearly Israeli territory. Wouldn't it be Italian territory? Like,
our audience, they were so thrilled with your call. That was great, and we're all thankful for
and the people of Tomato Town kind of reached into Moisty Meyer a little bit. So it is so basically it is unknown whether a controller player, like if the people from Tomato Town have like controller player in them and can use the associated terms.
For the insight you provided. Best wishes and good luck on your project. That sounds like a horrible fucking experience we had.
Yeah, awful, huh? we abused
completely blindsided. We made and what a joke we made out of him. Oh my god.
He also made a public Reddit post, which unfortunately I was not able to screenshot before.
Oh, they actually have the public Reddit post. This is probably the last thing I'll show from this. Because I mean this is pretty definitive. Check this out.
During the episode to debrief. All right, well, we have Aubrey on the...
Tomatoes aren't from Italy. Tomatoes being in Italy is actually a very new thing. They used to just use olive oil as pasta sauce. Dude, this is like when people are like, hey, I'm going to go to Italy. I'm going to have pizza. It's like, why? Pizza is a American creation. Whatever they call pizza in Italy is going to taste like garbage. That is disgusting. You want to go to get authentic pizza? You go across the street from Madison Square Garden. You got the bar behind you. You got the weed store in front of you, and you got some really good fucking pizza. And then you go into the garden. That's what you do. That's just what you do, right? Oh, look at me. I'm gonna go get some stromboli and some pizza in Italy. It's gonna be the worst fucking pizza of your entire life. All right. Any place in Brooklyn with a rat on the floor is gonna provide you a better lived experience.
Phone.
We do.
Thank you. So that we'll just say hi to Aubrey, thank him for his time, and
I'm bringing it up.
Dude, I tried to get Chicago pizza when I was in the airport, and I'd realized that I'd made a tremendous mistake. Okay, I mean, I was like, this is not authentic Chicago pizza. I've made a massive mistake.
Right now,
honor him.
I think I just included this to just demonstrate
going into
that
a pit
like,
of
he was
vipers
on a second time. Like we like we said. Hey.
Oh, hello. Is this live already?
It sure is.
Hi, we'll go live. Look at this comment from the person with the Palestinian flag, of course. That's enough for them to automatically hate me. I could not imagine being in that moment. I'm glad you had such grace because I do not. I'm glad you're here now and sharing your story as well. It felt, and then Aubrey says, it felt like the wind got knocked out of me. But nevertheless, we continue to thrive. Shut the fuck up, you liar. You
Base, dude. I love aggressive Ethan Klein. Ethan, you know what he has?
I don't respect you.
Unironically, I don't care about any of the problems with Ian. I don't care about any of the problems with his fucking wife. I don't care any about. I do care about the creator clash stuff. That I would be lying if I told you I didn't. Ethan Klein has confidence. Ethan Klein has stage presence. And he didn't have this 3 years ago. He was not this confident. He was not this aggressive. He couldn't engage well with criticism. And people are like, oh, he's not engaging well with criticism now. No, you're just mad because he's fucking mollywopping you in the middle of the fucking marketplace of ideas. Okay, this guy is mauling everybody who comes on stream. And he's been doing this since he started debating random crazy right-wing freaks 2 years ago or a year ago or whatever. Whenever the Ethan Klein debate arc started, he gained like a shitload of confidence. And he just fucking mauls person after person now. People are talking about content Luke. Like, well, Nick, you didn't like the first one. Why are you excited for the second one? Because the guy who's writing the second one is like, way fucking better than the guy who wrote the first one. 100%. I am excited to see what he has to do with Hassan Piker. These are two completely different people. All the stuff that's lacking in iDubbbz' newer content is fucking emanating out of Ethan Klein.
liar. Can't you do something like that you don't have to lie about to get clout? Do something that's actually fucking worthy of people liking it without lying about me, you dickhead, you bitch. Anyway.
Was it worth all the
No. Hi, Aubrey. Well, first of all, you got the post?
Yeah.
Oh, you found it.
I sent a screenshot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So Aubrey, here's the post Aubrey made. It's been deleted, but here's the
I have
title.
the full
Just the
post.
title.
Yeah, if you want
Oh,
it.
you have the full post?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
a screenshot. I was just sending this to show
Oh, yeah, I
that
want the
it was
full
deleted.
post. So, by the way, isn't it funny that he erased his account and the post right as the story was breaking? Wow, it's almost like he's intentionally lying. You're a fucking liar, dude. Oh, I'm so happy. You're so brave. I can't believe you
stop looking for monsters under their bed and we realize, oh my god, Teddy. Teddy, you're gonna be in trouble. I already sold. I'm out. I'm done.
across from that Nazi fascist.
Can you believe there's an entire second section that we're pulling from this exact same stream? I'm actually stunned how much content there was in one episode.
I'm not surprised he hates little people. You're so brave. Thank you for sharing the story with me. We love you, Aubrey.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that Ethan hates little people. You know what little people he's fighting right now? The quiet voices of the people in the Palestinian conflict, okay? He loves to shit on the little guy.
A person?
The overwhelmingly supported people on social media right now. He loves to crush the little guy.
Why you always lying?
By the way, next video, 20,000 views. Nobody gives a fuck. They come for the hate. They tell you how great you are, and then they move the fuck on because they don't care about you or anything you're about. They don't give a shit about dwarf activism. They don't care about any of the fucking shit that you're trying to spread. They just want to come there, hate on me for being like a Nazi, a fascist, and move the fuck on, dude. So that's what you got.
It's crazy because Ethan sounds like me covering Ethan. This is what I sounded like while I was explaining why, like, this is just crazy to me. Do you remember when Ethan Klein was getting on Keem's ass for making the joke saying, like, where he made a Jewish joke on, I'm not going to say what it was because I'll get flagged for it for sure by fucking H3, whatever the fucks, snarkers or whatever. But he clearly was making a joke about Ethan being greedy, and it was obviously in jest, right? And Ethan was sitting there pretending like years later this was some fucking traumatic experience for him because he was balls deep in the middle of the conflict with Keem. I do not believe that in current day, in any other conflict with any other creator, he would make that argument.
You got a little clout for one day, and everybody moved on.
But I do think the people attacking him would in a heartbeat and are every step of the way.
Dude. Here he said, shout out to the Dwamily. He's making a joke about him being
H3 snarkers are absolutely subhuman entities, and they should not be treated like our peers. They are a personification of the worst part of Ethan's audience during the worst time of his entire career. And the faster those people are purged from his circles, the better his show will become.
No, dwarf, Dwamily, I'm assuming.
Yeah, family.
Shout out to the Dwamily. It's Aubrey, the person.
But should they be DMCA'd? If they're posting stuff like, here, watch the clip and don't give Ethan Klein the view, I have no problem with him mowing it down. I do not give a fuck. Reality can set in. I don't like his method, but that subreddit should be banned. And I'm absolutely 100% fine with saying that on stream, because they created a Hassan subreddit that had the exact same rules, and Reddit got that one banned. So I don't think these people are fucking victims. If you could set up an alternate subreddit about a different creator, copy and pasting the rules from the H3 Snark subreddit, and then that subreddit gets brigaded by the same people who are crying victim, your home should be like removed as well. Yeah, I would love to see the H3 Snarkers going off-site like Kiwi Farms. So they literally have no leg to stand on. That should be their next arc. They should create H3 Farms. That's their play. They should really fucking lean into it. That's their next move. So yeah, I have absolutely no problem with Ethan taking down stuff if that's the reason he's doing it. Obviously, I don't like him striking fair use clips and stuff like that. That's obviously not something I would support. But, I mean, the subreddit should be banned to oblivion based off of the fact that they've gotten other subreddits banned for less or equal.
Person with dwarfism who called in. Thank you, Ethan, the crew, and everyone in the chat for being so welcoming and respectful. What? Wait, hold on. Whoa. He just said thank you for everyone for being so welcoming and respectful.
Weird.
And if Ethan's doing stuff that's super bad and he's hiring a lawyer to silence the criticism or whatever, he'd be directly going up against his own court ruling that he set legal precedent on. So, I mean, if he's wrong, it's not like there's no precedent to knock him out.
Shout out to Cam for editing. If anybody wants to
It'd be a crazy cell phone if it's true.
donate to our film, we have 16 days left. DearAverageHeightPeople.com. I don't remember, but I think we did raise a bit of money actually, even for his project.
I'm sure he got donos from our audience.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for the screenshot. Where is that? You sent it in the. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, he wrote everything.
It was the same thing. It was just the title was the post.
And then this is his comment too at the top. Oh no, this is
Ethan going at people in a copyright dispute while simultaneously creating the ruling, and getting the court ruling. Is like when you're playing basketball against your like NBA 2K against like your like fucking stupid child little brother, and you spot him like 50 points. Like may the odds ever be in your favor.
This is him here. Shout out, dude. Love seeing your chat. Your kindness and patience is something more people should endeavor to have. Doing my part, one conversation at a time. Thank you for the kind words. Bro, what happened?
Class act.
Literally, I changed, you changed, motherfucker. What happened to you?
Yeah.
The dick. But we have more, of course. It's not even everything we've got.
And again, I'm being honest with you. That Snark subreddit obviously has favoritism from Reddit. I would be interested to see what legal options that he's pursuing, or if he's suing, just individual chatters, or if he's looking at something with a wider scope. Because it is very clear that there is some weird shit going on at Reddit with Ethan Klein, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of rogue employee. Like a rogue employee situation. Tell me why, like, Sam and Tolkien is banned. Tell me why Hassan Piker Snark is banned. Tell me why this is the only subreddit that continues to exist in this exact niche. I don't understand. This is just not how the site works. It's weird that only Ethan Klein can have this audience.
Boom! Anyway, just to show you the tone of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for taking on the unfathomable task of trying to give sensitivity training to Jimmy Lee and my dad.
No, of course. It's honestly, anytime that people are willing to have a conversation, it's so important to have a conversation. And I'm honestly shocked that you guys, allow.
It breaks Reddit's own rules, and it's surprising that it's still. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. They're just flagrantly breaking Reddit's rules, and I'm not like a rule snark. Fucking. Oh my god, you're actually currently pushes glasses closer to face. You're actually breaking the rules right now. That's not allowed, or whatever. I'd be a massive hypocrite if that's what I was arguing. I'm just curious why they're able to get all the other rival subreddits banned. I'm just not understanding why this is happening. I'm wondering, is there favoritism over at Reddit? Because I think there is.
That to happen in the first place, because
I am confused.
Just like dwarfism representation, it's just
Ethan or just this one Oompa Loompa.
No, Ethan can't leave his house because he's trying to look out the peephole, and all the people who are stalking him are a couple inches below it. So he's actually He's trying to he's buying a Ring doorbell so he can see his future intruders.
Really, really hard to not be taken as a joke.
We hit the fucking
and
goal.
I was really excited that the Reddit, community and my fellow foot soldiers were there.
Yeah.
My fellow foot soldiers, chat.
Have that conversation, and me and my producer were just scrolling through the comments, and I think there's almost like 200 comments on that thread of me just going back and forth with people asking questions. People were like, "Oh, I know a person with dwarfism that I really miss that I grew up with. Oh, I love what you're doing because I
keep going, buddy." Keep going, man. Tell us more about how much you loved the experience and how wholesome it was and how great it was and how you were talking with everybody in the community back and forth. It was just so fun and so great.
What a crash out, dude. This guy's getting smeared all over the internet because he had wrong political take. What a crash out, dude. This guy's totally spurging right now. In fact, he's actually molding.
Chat, by the way. Aubrey, we love you. We love you, Aubrey. Aubrey has such good vibes. Such a king. We love you. Bro.
I get accused of ganging up on people all the fucking time because let's face it, sometimes we do. All right, but everyone always calls me a fucking monster when I stand up for the person who. And again, there's no brave take in standing up for multi-million sub-user Ethan Klein or whatever. But it's obviously not like the safe take to be defending him publicly right now. That's not like if I just wanted to pander to a wide audience or whatever and get free money for a couple months, I'd pander to the snark losers and I would literally farm them for money. I kind of regret not doing that. I should have done like 5 super negative Ethan Klein streams, took all the money that I could have possibly got from it, and then turned around and said, haha, I actually do not give a fuck about the situation. You're all losers. I agree with everything Ethan Klein is saying. Suck my dick. Or whatever. That probably should have been the approach. I would have made more money doing it that way.
Who changed again? Fuck you.
I don't
Go
like
ahead, tell me more about how great we are.
People with dwarfism represented on screen. So with the Jimmy and Gary thing, I'm like, this is, trust me, in comparison to actual like people on the internet who hate me right now and are like actively doing everything they can to exploit people with dwarfism, this was like the easiest thing.
Okay, wow. But
Trisha Snark was aborted too. You're not allowed to have that kind of subreddit on that site. There is some weird voodoo shit going on.
Wow,
It's
really
actually
traumatic,
the most
dude.
interesting is that.
Sounds like it was a really deep-seated trauma.
Yeah. This guy really thinks that he was going to get away with this shit. That's what I'm saying. We're not cashing these checks anymore. Fuck you, dude. Like, I'm glad you got 1 million views and like 170,000 likes from everybody that is like thinks I'm a fascist.
That you actually seem to break through to Jimmy Lee. Although, well, that's questionable because 2 days later he did write, "I fucking hate midgets" in his description. And apologies for using that word just to retell what he wrote.
In the full version, I got caught slipping too. I was like, midget this, midget that, because it's not. I want to move past the word as the most interesting thing.
This is like Bo Black's reclaiming the slur.
That people with dwarfism can't.
By the way, I don't believe I've said that word. I don't think I've said that word on this show once since that. I mean, I don't think I've said this. That is not my vocabulary. I've completely phased out like anything that might be offensive to little people. You know. Yeah, give it up. Go ahead, Aubrey.
All right, so that's the Aubrey situation. I think there might be one more thing I want to watch here. And again, I want to talk a little bit about... So these were all the posts that were going live while the stream was still happening with the Aubrey stuff. I mean, this is like hilarious. The big thing that was happening during the stream for both segments was H3 Snark was having a complete and utter meltdown. H3 fans are already brigading Aubrey and berating his experience, dude. This was his lived experience, even though he himself has argued on several occasions that he was treated well. It's been demonstrated that he wasn't blindsided. It was a pre-recorded fucking segment. Right? Oh, his experience has been berated. It's like believe all women, dude. Believe all littles. Ethan doesn't think there's a problem with the famous Joji clip. This is the one where they say like women are in nature to be conquered or whatever. What else do we got here? Another big post, 418. Ethan has spent so much time obsessing over Hassan that is on his computer that he has neck pain. He's hired a masseuse to massage him while he edits content, Nuke. And look, I feel guilty for ever watching or being a fan of this show. Mika, I used to be a fan of H3, but recently Ethan has been doing problematic things. Here are some clips in my thoughts, acknowledging 0% of the fact that her video was awful, her points were terrible. She barely showed any clips. It was largely unedited. Calling it rhetoric is probably not correct. But yeah, sure. Ethan, you're an ugly...
I'm not asking
and an anti-Semitic, illiterate, moronic, pedophile piece of shit. What a charitable read on the section that we're about to watch together. 4 hours of mauling. This is my first time sitting down to watch a show since Leftovers ended. I wonder who you're here for. I can't believe how unwatchable the show is. Chat, would you say the Ethan Klein stream has been unwatchable so far? I gotta be honest with you. I think this is the best content he's produced in years. If all of his content was like this, I'd be more than a Riz fan, dude. I'd be way more than a Riz fan. I'd be a Mewing fan, to be honest. Like if this, I don't think this was boring at all. What happened to the crew over the break? Did they all get raises or something? Like, there's some fucking deep Zog Chow conspiracy. Now I'm using it right. There's some deep Zog Chow conspiracy that the crew has been paid off to just blindly go with this. And it's not just the most absurd fucking allegations that have been ever created in history. Someone commented that there was a layoff at Teddy Fresh last month. Maybe they're sucking... Dude, they're creating hypotheticals like Ethan Klein is threatening their jobs. There's an overwhelming feeling that their jobs are in fucking danger if they don't just agree with the fact that Ethan literally got fucking blindsided by little people and fucking Mika's rhetoric. Destiny was brought up and he suddenly wants to end the stream. It's just so brutal, dude. Dude, their tears taste so good. Why does Dan burst out laughing after basically everything Mika says? Well, because Mika's retarded. That's probably why. Because everything Mika says sounds fucking stupid. And it's laughable that somebody with so low IQ would be confident enough to proudly proclaim that they want to be a school teacher. That's hilarious, because she preempts the whole video saying she's terrified and she's not going to be able to be a future teacher. Honey, you're 25 years old. You're probably not going to be a teacher. You should just stick to doing videos on Amberlynn Reed or something and stay in your lane, because realistically, I mean, future teacher at 25 is not very promising. I think she's 25. I could be wrong about that. I was told she's 25 and a future teacher. Good luck with that one. She doesn't seem intelligent enough to be one. I feel bad for the youth that will be taught through her classes. And again, I'd only know this stuff because she reads a list of things that we can make fun of her with right at the beginning of the video. Hey guys, I just want to come out and say that I'm a big total loser and I'm afraid of people attacking me and I'm terrified of Ethan Klein's audience and I'm worried that they're going to like dox me and post my shit online about how I want to be a fucking school teacher and I'm never going to have the opportunity because I've willingly chosen to punch up on a fucking YouTuber who I literally know is going to respond to me. I'm a huge victim. That's the fucking video. Oh, wow. What an intelligent voice. Christmas bonus did not hit the account yet. We hear you, AB. He sold out so hard. It's sad. Look at that little Muslim man just siding with the Zionist fucking Jew. That little Muslim man has been forced. The whips have come down and the Zionist Jew has forced him to do his bidding. Besides everything else, the fact that they're drawing so much attention to her job as a teacher, bitch, she drew attention to her job as a teacher. If she didn't sit there and do a 4-minute diatribe about how she's terrified to not ever get a job in teaching at the beginning of her Ethan Klein response video, none of us would even know that she wanted to be a teacher. It's literally there so losers like you could, oh my God, they're attacking her. They're attacking her job, the job that she'll never actually have. AB is gone. 100%. He absolutely misrepresented to his family what's happening around the show so he doesn't get flack. I think one part that's irritating more than anything is people like Fresh and Fit and Sneeko, we all know are gross, and they all leaned into it when they were crossing the line, and they're like, yup, I'm on the right. But the H3 podcast still acts like they're wanting... or they're wanted by anyone on the left and that they're LGBTQ allies or allies. This is all because he disagreed with Hassan Piker one time and refuses to like fucking disavow Israel's right to exist. Literally, they're comparing Ethan to Fresh and Fit and Sneeko, saying that he should just come out and admit that he wants a right-wing audience. Newsflash, these are political extremist viewers. And everything to the left of Hassan Piker is conservative. These are the people who look at a liberal and go, ah, okay, a right-winger. Like just complete subhuman Zog Chow brained, glup shitto minded people. It still boggles the mind that he had the audacity to create a podcast called Leftovers. Ethan doesn't have the first clue about real left-wing issues. Clearly the fucking Democratic Party doesn't know either. And I mean, who wants to pander to losers like you who are like, I don't think you've earned my vote. I'm going to bring in Donald Trump, who wants to make it so who wants to like make sure that like all these 16-year-olds can't have abortions. Guys, they didn't earn my vote. They didn't have the right position on Palestine. Anyway, I'm going to vote for Jill Stein in protest. Let's bring in these people who want to fucking remove trans people, criminalize you and your lifestyle as is, take away women's rights. Like, you're so virtuous in your cause. The Democratic Party is really looking to you guys for the next generation. I'm sure of it. This is so awful. Keep licking the boot, AB. You guys remember when Bernie Sanders got blown out by Joe Biden a few years ago, when every college-aged person said that he was going to win? Do you remember when Bernie Sanders got literally raped in the Democratic primary? I remember when Bernie Sanders got raped in the Democratic primaries. I'm just curious what you think is coming next. You guys probably think that he's not left enough either. I don't know. Is Bernie Sanders not left anymore? I haven't been keeping up. Apparently, Frogan is off limits. Have you heard this clip? This didn't even make it on there, but I submitted this to AB, so hopefully they pull it up on the next stream. This is just a crazy clip.
That's what they're saying. I cannot believe he said that. That's slander, dude. You can't, like, that is so not what the conversation even is. And to accuse someone of that is so, like, unserious. I mean, it's a serious accusation.
So again, he's talking about the anti-Semitism stuff. He's talking about like the Twitch anti-Semitism stuff over the panel show where they were doing a hummus tier list.
But it's unserious in the sense where it's like, that's not what's happening here, and no one else believes you. Yeah, they're booing you because you're Jewish. No, they're booing you because you've attacked Frogan multiple times.
By extension, any larger creator deserve the right to respond to restarted takes and behavior.
100%. If you don't want to be, if you're a drama channel who's afraid of being in drama, you're in the wrong industry. You should talk about potted plants. You should take literally take a page out of Rosanna Pansino's cookbook. You should make content reacting to movies or video games. You should be posting reviews of Stardew Valley. You don't belong here.
Because you're Jewish. No, they're booing you because you've attacked Frogan multiple times with your, like, exponentially larger platform. That's why.
Oh no, you're attacking a hijabi woman. And by the way, she's the only hijabi person I can name, so it's actually racist that you're criticizing her.
That's why he's even on here to begin with, because he's made himself Frogan's personal enemy.
Just to be clear, Frogan started the entire conflict. Frogan made a tweet in support of fucking October 7th. And then Ethan silently unfollowed her, and she had a public meltdown about it that created a year's worth of content for my YouTube channel. And God willing, I support the fuck out of that movement. All right.
For some reason, one of, if not the only hijabi streamer in, like, popular streamer circles.
Oh no, the only popular hijabi streamer. She is immune to criticism.
I don't know of any other hijabi streamer, but for some reason, Ethan Klein has felt the need multiple times to attack her on his social media and on his stream. This is anti-Semitism. Criticizing hummus is anti-Semitism, but we can't even look for a second at what Ethan Klein is doing like that's racist.
Oh yeah, it's so racist to call out the token half-white hijabi girl. Because you're just simply not allowed to attack any woman who's Arab at all whatsoever. Arab women are off limits. It's racism if you criticize them publicly. If an Arab woman comes after you and she's wearing a hijab on twitch.tv, you are to sit there and nod your head and listen to what that woman has to say. And any words out of stand down, Ethan. This is her time.
No, certainly not. No, he voted for Kamala Harris, guys. He's not racist.
Holy shit, dude. This is insane.
What do you mean? She is the only one on this stage that he has repeatedly and specifically targeted. He also mixed up in Denims and Frogan twice. He can't tell Arab people apart.
That is the biggest, and I mean the biggest W of Frogan's career, is that someone accidentally mixed her up with Denims. Unironically. That is the nicest thing that could have ever happened to her.
Tell Arab people apart? Okay, that's insane.
That is massive cope.
And you know what else is massive?
He's just stupid.
It's crazy, dude. And then you got more of this shit, right?